Perhaps the most controversial topic in sports betting: betting splits and bet percentages. Many people use these numbers to inform their wagers, but if you stick around to the end of the video, you're going to learn why that might be a huge mistake. Welcome to Betstamp, where we teach you the truth behind major sports betting concepts, and we do so in educational videos just like this. So if you find it at all informative along the way, make sure you drop a like, and for more videos just like it, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Today, we're diving into the mystery behind betting splits and bet percentages. We're going to go through what they are, why they're used, why they maybe shouldn't be used, and to finish, we're going to discuss the proper strategies to finding an edge that you do not want to miss out on. So again, make sure you're hanging around until the end of the video. Whether you're a seasoned bettor or just getting started, the concepts we're going to go over in today's video can give you a new perspective to your betting strategy. So let's get started. First, let's define what betting splits and bet percentages actually means. We'll start with the betting splits, which refers to the total amount of wagers placed on each side of an event. So in this situation here, 70% of the total bets on this event have been placed on Team A on the left, whereas 30% of the total wagers placed on this event are on Team B. This differs to bet percentages, which refers to the total amount of money placed on each side of the event. So even though 70% of the wagers are on Team A, only 60% of the money or handle on the event is on Team A. This means that even though only 30% of the wagers were placed on Team B, there was a higher amount of money within those wagers because 40% of the money is now placed on Team B. Many bettors use betting splits and bet percentages to figure out which side they want to bet on, and there are multiple ways they go about this. The idea for some is that if you know where the majority of the public's money is going, you want to stay on that side because if so many people are so confident in that bet, you can convince yourself that that amount of people cannot all be wrong. Other bettors go against this, citing that you might be able to gain an edge by going against the crowd and being contrarian. Many bettors feel as though sportsbooks set a price that will entice the majority of bettors to place a wager on it because they feel as though that is going to be the losing side. So if they get most of the public on that side, the sportsbook will win because they have the better splits. If Team A has 70% of the betting splits on it, the sportsbook will naturally want that team to win. However, bettors feel as though sportsbook do this on purpose. They create a market that entices those wagers because they think the other side is going to win. So in the mindset of these bettors, they want to be contrarian and go against the public because they feel as though that's who the sportsbook thinks will win, and therefore they would bet on Team B. Does that sound right? Well, it shouldn't, because that's flat out not how sports betting works. Whether you're betting with or against the public, it really doesn't matter, and let me explain why. Betting splits and percentages might not be as impactful as many think. One reason is a concept between public money and sharp money. Public money comes from casual bettors who bet for fun and are influenced by their own biases. The grand majority of splits and percentages are derived from casual bettors who very likely do not have an edge on the event. You see, sportsbooks are able to identify winning bettors and casual bettors who are more likely to lose. The bettors who make up the majority of the splits and percentages do not have influence on the market. A common myth associated with sportsbooks is that they are trying to balance the action 50-50 on each side, because since they have the house edge, if they balance the action at 50-50, they are guaranteed to win no matter what. But again, this is a myth and is absolutely not the case. Sportsbooks don't really pay attention to getting splits at 50-50 because they know if they do, sharp bettors will take advantage. Sharp money comes from professional bettors who use data, analysis, and other factors to make informed betting decisions. These bettors typically have a strong edge if they're going to place a wager, and sportsbooks know it. If a sportsbook were to change the price for an event based on public money, which we now know is derived from mostly casual bettors who aren't really a threat to the sportsbook, then they can leave themselves exposed to a price that a sharp bettor can take advantage of. The grand majority of casual bettors are not placing wagers at the level that is really going to hurt the sportsbook one way or another. Sharp bettors, it's going to be different. And if they see a price is off and it has shifted based on public percentage, which isn't necessarily accurate to how the game and the event is going to go, they can take advantage with massive wagers that do have a significant impact on the bottom line for the sportsbook. As mentioned, these large quantities of public bets do not have an influence on the market, but one bet from a sharp bettor could do significant difference to that market and could even move it between 5 to 10 cents or even more, meaning you could take a -110 bet and a sharp bettor could place a wager on that -110 odds, and the sportsbook to react might shift the odds to -115, 5 cents, or -120, 10 cents. If public bet percentages are not influencing the market, and they don't, then We can establish, therefore, that they are not a threat to the sportsbook. If they are not a threat to the sportsbook, then they are not causing the sportsbook to lose. If they are not causing the sportsbook to lose, then they are not causing sports bettors to win. And if they're not causing sports bettors to win, why would you use this information in an attempt to make a winning wager? The sportsbook doesn't think this information is relevant, so why should you? Now, there could be a caveat to this, and that comes from sharp sportsbooks rather than recreational sportsbooks. Betting splits and percentages can sometimes give you some good information if you know how to interpret them correctly, and more importantly, where to interpret them. Comparing lines from sharp sportsbooks relative to recreational sportsbooks can provide you some insight if you are looking at the betting splits and bet percentages, because these sharp sportsbooks take on a higher limit for their players. They allow their sharp players, and all their players really, to bet higher amounts, higher quantities. They use the information from the bettors to shape the betting market and shape their betting lines to be more efficient than a recreational book. The professional betting activity on these sharp sportsbooks is factored in a lot more heavily. A sharp sportsbook uses winning bettors. By allowing them to bet, they gain information as to what the correct price for the event should be. Recreational sportsbooks limit and restrict these bettors and use their internal methods to make as close to an accurate price for an event as possible. The reality is, sportsbooks should be playing defense, bettors should be playing offense, and with the internal methods of the recreational sportsbook, they're simply just not going to be able to find as sharp of a price for their betting markets as a sharp book would. Using the betting splits and bet percentages from a sharp sportsbook compared to a recreational sportsbook could give you some insights as to where the value lies, but then again, it's not always going to be the best indicator as to what a good bet and finding an edge is going to look like. If you want to compare lines from sportsbook to sportsbook, sure, you can manually open up a whole bunch of tabs with a whole bunch of different sportsbooks or a whole bunch of different betting apps and manually go through each one to see where the best price lies, or to compare the odds from sharp sportsbooks to recreational sportsbook. But if you want to effectively compare lines, using a tool like Betstamp makes it so easy. First, you just go to the Betstamp app, find the sport that you want to place your wager on, and Betstamp aggregates data from sportsbook to sportsbook so you can find the price for an event that you want in seconds. But now, with a new tool in Betstamp PRO, it just became even easier to find an edge. Sometimes it's difficult to know which sharp sportsbook has the sharpest price from sport to sport, because it can differ based on which book you're using. But thankfully, now Betstamp has a tool in Betstamp PRO that makes this so much easier. Betstamp will automatically source through the world's sharpest sportsbooks to provide you with the true line for the event that you're looking to wager on. Simply head over to the Betstamp PRO feature, and you're met by this column showcasing the true line for the event or for the player prop that you are looking for. All your job is to do is now find a price that is better than what the true line of the event indicates here, and that gives you a plus EV wager. From here, you can go through all the aggregated odds from various sportsbooks to see where the best price lies. This is the way for you to find an edge, taking a price against what the true odds of the event should be. That's how you find plus EV wagers. Finding out where recreational and casual bettors have most of their money for an event is not the pathway to success. So while betting splits and bet percentages can provide some insight, it should not be the go-to source for informing your wagers. By understanding the difference between public and sharp money and using a tool like Betstamp PRO, you can make much more informed decisions with your sports betting. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, then that deserves a like. And if you want to see more content just like it, make sure you subscribe to Betstamp.